As a property owner, you know that maintaining the condition of your property is critical to your investment success. Rental property inspections are a crucial part of that maintenance, ensuring that your property is being cared for and any issues are addressed promptly. In this video, we'll cover everything you need to know about rental property inspections, from why they're important to how to conduct them, and whether or not you should hire a property management company to handle them for you. So whether you're a new property owner or a seasoned landlord, stay tuned to learn how to keep your investment property in top shape. Let's get started. A rental property inspection is conducted by a landlord or property manager for the purpose of assessing the condition of a property or individual unit. Inspections are performed by scheduling a visit to the unit or property with the tenant, typically with the tenant present during the inspection. Side note, it helps to have the tenant present not only so that they can let you know about any issues with the unit, but also so that you can let them know to keep an eye on any potential future issues you may see. You should already be doing inspections both before and after a tenant moves in and out. However, some landlords overlook the importance of regular inspections throughout the tenant's lease. As a landlord or property manager performing inspections on behalf of the landlord, you have the right to perform inspections regularly. You want to check with your local state and city laws, however, as you typically need to inform your tenant in advance when you'll be doing an inspection. However, it is your right to perform regular inspections whether the tenant likes it or not. Why are rental property inspections important? The property is the investment, so if the condition of the property diminishes, the value of your investment diminishes with it. That's part of why property inspections are so important. Regular property inspections allow you to catch things like plumbing and electrical issues before they become a major problem that can cost you thousands. Think of it as an accountant manager at an investment firm or an accountant managing the finances of a business. Your greatest financial asset is the property itself, so regular management of that property allows you to ensure not only that cash flow is strong, but also cash out in the overall financial health. Plus, focusing on maintaining the condition of the property means your tenants are more comfortable and see that you care about keeping up the quality of their living conditions. That leads to happier long-term tenants. 4 types of rental property inspections. There are a few different ways you can do inspections. It's important to understand these different types of inspections to make the most of regular checks on your properties and units. Let's break each one down. Number 1, move-in. Walkthroughs or move-in inspections are probably the most common type of inspection, though they shouldn't be your most frequent. This type of inspection is performed just before a new tenant moves into their home, right after they sign and complete their lease. Typically, for this type of inspection and most others, a checklist is used to record information as you comb through each room and check items such as HVAC, electrical outlets and appliances, flooring, paint, walls and ceilings, windows, doors, anything else relevant. A copy of that checklist is then kept with the lease as a record of the condition the property was in before the tenant moved in. Number 2, move out. As you might expect, a move-out inspection is performed just before or right after a tenant moves out of a unit and should have the tenant present. The purpose of this inspection is to confirm the condition of the unit and any damages which will need to be paid for. You'll need to record these items so that you can rightfully claim them from the tenant's security deposit, so don't forget to be thorough. If you don't, the tenant can always claim said damages weren't their fault and you'll be left out to dry paying for damages that you shouldn't have to. Keep in mind that you'll need to have done your move-in inspection for the unit and keep tidy records to be able to have something to compare against. Number 3, biannual/quarterly. This is where we get into the inspections that some landlords don't do, but they really should. It's easy to fall into the habit of inspecting your units pre-move-in and then sitting back and relaxing. After all, it's an alluring idea that all you need to do is move your new tenant in, then collect rent each month. But the reality is that you or the company you hire needs to actively manage the property if you want to maximize and, for that matter, maintain your investment. To that end, you'll want to schedule at least biannual inspections for all of your units. Some prefer to do quarterly inspections, but that's completely up to you. So long as you're inspecting your property and units regularly, you'll be able to stay on top of potential issues. In addition, it will communicate to your tenants that you're serious about maintaining the condition of the property, further encouraging them to do just that. Also, sometimes tenants can give you a hard time about frequent inspections. The best way to overcome this objection is to simply state it upfront clearly, so that they know what to expect and agree to do it even before moving in. Number 4, drive-by. Another less common but still useful type of inspection is often called a drive-by inspection. This is less of a formal inspection, more of a quick check, often for things you wouldn't be able to just jot down on an inspection checklist. This type of inspection focuses on checking the outside of the unit and typically doesn't require advance notices, so long as you're not visiting the tenant or planning to enter the premises. It is important, however, to keep in mind to not violate the tenant's privacy in any way while doing this type of quick inspection. How to do a rental inspection. Now that you know a bit more about the types of inspections that you can perform, let's talk about how to actually do a rental inspection. Let's break it down step by step. Number 1, review local laws and lease agreement. Both your local, state, and city laws and the lease agreement in place are important to know, particularly when it comes to scheduling a property inspection. Typically, you'll need to give your tenant a specific amount of advance notice when scheduling the inspection based on your local laws. That's often 24 to 72 hours, but it all depends on the laws in place in your area, so don't assume and instead make sure to review your local policies. It's also important to make sure you're always following the lease agreement, whether it's yours or your client's lease if you're a property manager. You don't want to breach your lease agreement in any way while scheduling or performing your inspection, only to have a tenant complain or file a suit against you, as rare it may be for that to happen. Number 2, schedule the tenant to be there during inspection. Next, make sure to inform the tenant that they should be there during the inspection. This isn't necessary, but it is suggested, especially if you're only doing annual or biannual inspections, as you'll want them to walk you through any issues they might be having. If you're doing more frequent quarterly inspections, it's really not required that they be there. So you can give them a choice if you don't feel it's necessary. On a related note, make sure it's clear to them why you're doing the inspection in the first place. If you did this when you signed the lease with them, then they'll already understand the purpose of the inspections. If not, take the time now to explain that your goal is simply to maintain the condition of the property and that you'd like to check to make sure there aren't any problems with the unit. Number 3, document everything with a checklist. A checklist is your best friend during regular inspections, as it allows you to do 2 things. Keep track of everything you need to check during your inspection so you don't forget anything, and helps you document the inspection itself for your records. With a good checklist in hand, you're easily guided through the inspection process from beginning to end. But more important than that is documentation. Documentation is everything when it comes to inspections, as you need recorded documentation of the condition of the unit during an inspection in case there's ever a dispute. It doesn't happen often, but if a tenant tries to claim they weren't aware of such and such damage at the time of moving out, you'll need documentation to prove it to get the amount you're owed from their security deposit. If you need a good checklist, be sure to download DoorLoop's apartment maintenance checklist for a ready-made checklist template you can use for your next inspection. Number 4, take photos. Even if you just take quick snaps with your smartphone, it's very important to document everything both in writing and with photos. Photos are especially powerful as it's easy to lie on paper but virtually impossible to fake an image, and during an inspection which your tenant is on record having attended. This is all stuff you never want to have to use, but it is stuff you need to cover yourself in the event of a difficult tenant. So, how often should you inspect your rental property? How often you inspect your properties is completely up to you. However, landlords and property managers typically prefer to perform inspections biannually or quarterly. Both methods generally offer frequent enough inspections to catch problems before they become major issues, and generally keep tabs on everything. Another common option is to check more frequently for newer tenants and less for those that have been with you for a while. The longer a tenant has been with you, the more likely they are to know your expectations and have proven their ability to keep the unit up to your liking. Now, you may be wondering, should you hire a rental property inspector? Whether you should hire a property inspector is a question mostly of whether you should hire a property manager or not. Typically, if you hire a full-service property manager or property management company, they'll handle everything regarding the day-to-day management of the property. That usually includes regular inspections, though you can hire a property manager to only handle certain specific tasks. Hiring a property manager comes with certain pros and cons, namely, pros save time and headache managing tenants and often results in more efficient management of your properties. Con, it will cost you, typically in the form of a percentage of your rental income. If you're at a point where you have several properties and you need help managing them so you can focus more on investing, it may be time for a property manager. If you're not, or your profit margin can't justify the additional expense, it may just be a good idea to wait. We hope you found this video informative and helpful in understanding the importance of rental property inspections. Remember, regular inspections are critical to maintaining the long-term health of your properties and catching issues before they become a costly repair. By staying on top of regular inspections, you can also protect yourself in the event of a problematic tenant. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more valuable tips and insights on property management. Thank you so much again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.